All right, so good evening, everybody, and welcome to Tuesday here on FaceTime with Todd Wharton, Tuesday, April 13th. Gorgeous, gorgeous day outside, but unfortunately, I was inside working. As always, I hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's healthy, safe, and sound. And first of all, I want to say hello to my virtual audience that'll be coming in a little bit. Hope you guys are going to have an amazing week because I have an amazing guest on tonight. But of course, before we get into it, let's talk about some things. So the first thing I always like to do, I got to give it up to one of my supporters, Believe in You. Believe in You is Colette V. Smith, former and first female African-American female football coach of the New York Jets and first of the Pro Football League for the NFL. That's our organization, Believe in You. Pretty much what that means is anything's possible when you believe in you. So go check her out at believein.you.com. Okay. A lot of people have been asking me for celebrity bookings. You can go to bookings at FaceTime with Todd Wharton, and that's also the same email that I use for sponsorship as well. If you'd like to sponsor the show and get your logo up here and get a plug as well. I just added a new segment to the beginning of the monologue called Reality Check. Let's talk about Reality Check. Let's talk about people posting on Facebook, for example, or posting on social media in general. When you guys post, post something that's real. Stop posting, hey, I just booked a major role with the major person, more news coming soon, or I'm going to be the head this or the lead that, or I'm going to be the star in this. When a lot of us are exaggerating the truth. Why don't you just post when it's actually happening? And listen, if you're an extra in, like, say, a film, be proud of it. You're an extra in a film, but don't tell people that you're starring in a starring role in a film, and then when we go see it, you're not even in it, and then you got to make up some excuse why you're not in it. So talking about films, I'm speaking to a really, really great guy tonight, and I'm going to show you the clip of his movie called Chronicles of a Serial Killer. And it stars James Russo, Steve Stanulis, who's going to be coming on in a minute, and also the late DMX, which we're going to talk about in a minute. So check this out while I bring him in.
You know, Peter, every time I walk up on a homicide victim, it's always the same thought. What's that? Smith, who are you?
No, nobody mentioned a serial killer. Fractured skull, the throat was cut.
Should love to.
We're going to be in the cut.
Okay.
This guy tries to pop up. Little stick thing. You know, it could have been a lot worse. Don't let it be a man.
Leave that one on each other.
That whole comes from making sense.
Swift justice, that's what we need.
So guys, please welcome a good friend of mine, Hollywood director, award-winning actor, producer, published author, and the CEO of Stanulis Films, Mr. Steve Stanulis. Steve, how you doing, brother?
Hey, what's up, Todd? How are you doing? Congratulations on the show. Pleasure to be on.
Yeah, thank you, man. I'm excited. I'm excited to have you on. And bro, I haven't seen you in years.
I know. I went a little blonde today, bro, for you. I put a little, extra little blonde this, for the spring occasion.
I see that. I see you trying to glean the cube right now.
What's happening?
Your wife is probably like, can you just stick with the brown hair, please? I like it. It's sexy.
Actually, like everybody, my kids and everything, I'm surprisingly they all want me to keep it. I'm like, I don't know, but yeah, I mean, again, we'll go brown pretty soon, like tomorrow maybe. But yeah, we'll see.
She's sitting there right now. She's like, "You go brown, I'll kill you."
Yeah, I went from like an Italian looking, guy to a surfer. You know what I mean? So yeah, all good.
Yeah. Well, bro, first of all, welcome to FaceTime with Todd Wharton, man. I appreciate you having you on tonight. We're gonna talk about a lot of stuff right now. And first, congratulations on that film. I had to edit it a little because it's hard to send out a full trailer that's over 2 minutes unless
you're not an editor, are you? By any chance, you're not an editor by trade, are you?
No, everything that you see.
I'm kidding. I know that. I'm kidding. I'm busting your chops. I'm breaking your chops there, brother. No, I know it's hard to do.
That's
Anyway,
that's pretty much
how about the
that's pretty
Yankees?
messed up, man. Trying to do a slapstick shot on my show. What's up with you,
Yeah, I
bro?
know. I know. It's funny. I know. So
Editing's fun. Editing's
I
definitely
can't
fun. I
consider
enjoy it.
myself a blind there. I'm a little taken back, but yes, let's do this interview. I'm ready.
This is how the interviews go, man. It's not having fun. There's no seriousness whatsoever. So let's go right into that film, and we're gonna go back and forth, kind of like a Quentin Tarantino thing. Chronicles
Right.
of a Serial Killer. I haven't had the chance to watch the full. I've been seeing a lot of clips and the trailer. Great film as what I saw so far. You have the great James Russo that's in there, really great actor. And then you also have the late DMX.
DMX, Dominique Swain, Brendan Sexton. Yeah, I was pretty happy with the cast, but yeah, like I said, this whole thing with DMX is all weekend I was kind of a little bummed out about this whole thing. I'll be honest with you, because again, I don't want to portray like he was my best friend in the world. That's not what I'm portraying. But when we were on set, there's some people you're just inseparable, and we bonded. And I've shared a couple videos with X and I. He liked to be called X. That's good. It's funny, when I first met him, I'm like, should I call you Earl? Do I call you DMX? Do I call what do I call you? And he always liked X. But when I met X, again, we just instantly bonded. And again, ever since we shot the film, and he did an amazing. X is a great actor. I mean, he's one of those guys that's just a natural. He's really playing himself, but that's good enough. And again, we exchange texts, for holidays and stuff. But like I said, again, you can't keep fucking around. When you're 50 years old, it's going to get you. You know what I mean? So like I said, it was a horrible weekend for me. And yeah, may he rest in peace. And it's hard to believe that that's the last thing he actually did was this film. And I'm so glad and proud that he did such a great job in it. And it's it's something that people could see, and and he still had when I saw him, he was totally normal. So I don't again, that's a disease. So the problem is, and I'm not talking about him, but a lot of people that I know that overdose. Again, I'm not an expert either, but I'm just saying a lot of these, when they do X amount of stuff, and then you go clean for a year, and then you fall off, you're thinking, I could do the same thing I did a year ago when I was partying every day, and your body is like, what the fuck? But with that being said, hopefully he's in a better place, and I'll cherish those times. And again, there's still a lot of videos that I want to share candidly that just show the real side of him. You know what I mean? It just with no cameras, just bantering, and I think people will enjoy those. But I don't want to keep playing at the same drum. But
well, I have an idea for you. I was thinking about it today, and this will be inspirational, be emotional, and it will be great for the film. I know the film's already out, but it doesn't mean you can't relaunch the film, where in the ending, you obviously put some in memory of, right?
Oh,
DMX, dedicated to. But here's the best part, right? This is where I come in with my editing, right? But I'm a marketer. Everybody knows I'm a creative guy. I'm a marketer, but I think it would be really cool. Maybe when things open up a little more, hold off those clips that you're talking about. Do a rescreening of the film in dedication to him, but then take all those clips of him and put a behind-the-scenes reel at the end of the film, kind of like behind the scenes, what they do a lot, where they do little clips after the movie. Put that as dedicated to DMX in memory of, and just show the real DMX and do a real screening. So, because the thing is, this film right now is going to get a lot bigger play.
Well, apparently today, I could interrupt. He was on Wendy Wendy Williams
Yeah,
in
I saw
June
that.
or July
Mhm.
promoting it. Again, I think that's where the start of everything started happening again. But they replayed the whole interview today on Wendy Williams. I didn't even know, but apparently,
Yeah,
yeah,
I saw it.
yeah. So again, but yeah, it's a great idea, Todd. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, and the best part about it is, like you said, you weren't best friends with him, but there's an obligation there because we know everybody when somebody does that last
Mhm.
film is going to become one of those iconic films. And unfortunately, because he died, because he was an amazing guy. I've met the guy plenty of times and had
Right.
nice conversations. But this is something where I guarantee you, if you put that out there, you're going to sell out every night
Yeah.
because he's got such a loyal fan base. And a lot of people don't really know the personal side of DMX as a
Right.
fan. And you have so many clips of him behind scenes. That would just be an amazing movie, which it already is. And you're adding a little documentary to it
Yeah.
as a rest in peace.
Yeah.
You get a good editor like you already have or a director, you should shoot a little 2-3 minute thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm throwing it in there again, son. And I think it would be great. I would listen right now. If you do that, I would promote the hell out of that thing. I have so
No,
many people in the hip hop world. You know, I'm tied into
yeah.
that. I would promote the heck out of that thing to get all those people there to watch this film again. I think that would be awesome. Get it in the theaters. I guarantee you, a large theater would take that film in a minute. In a
Yeah,
minute to do
no
that.
doubt. Like I said, and I'm happy that again, not to say the same thing. I'm just happy that he did such a great job. So
Yeah.
and again, X just has to play X. There's just certain actors that just could be themselves and they're great. So he's one of them.
Exactly.
So yeah,
Exactly. Well, let's
yeah,
get
totally.
into yeah, and I think it's a great. We'll talk off camera on that, but thank you for bringing that up. Well, let's get into you, man. Now, some of the things I did not know about because as a talk show host, I get to learn about you by studying, right? And the first thing I didn't know is I honestly, and I've known you for 10 years, I just honestly didn't know this. I didn't know you were a decorated NYPD officer.
That's why some of
And
your posts I got to go like this. When I see some of your posts, sometimes I have to bite my lip. No. Listen, I come from a family of police officers. I didn't want to be a cop, but I was one of those guys where my father was like, "You're going to be a cop." So my brother was a cop, my father was a cop, my cousin. I only did 7 years, and then I got injured. I tore both my knees, which I just had double knee replacements recently. But
right.
again, listen, there's cops, and then there's cops, and then again, what I mean simply by that is when I was when I was in my uniform and I was in my thing, I did what I had to do. When I took my uniform off, I didn't give a shit what you did. You know what I mean? There was guys that had friends that were officers. I'm sorry, there was guys that had friends that smoked pot or did drugs and would stay away from them. Me, like I said, as soon as I took off my uniform, I don't care what you do. It's there's cops that are cops 24/7, and there's guys that do their job and they take off their uniform and go home. They do everything else. So I wasn't one of those guys that the big tour in the NYPD was 4 to 12s because it's the busiest tour. That's where the most stuff happens, and then everybody goes out to drink afterwards. To all those cop bars. But the thing is, I was dancing. I was still, while I was a cop. So I wanted to work days. I worked 7 to 3:30,
Right.
which gave me the nights to go dance. So again, it was a different time because again, if I was now, I would have been fired because there was no social media back then.
Right.
All that because you're not allowed to, be a cop and work in Chippendales. So yes, so it was different times. I'm going back to 1994. But yes, when I did my job, I seen a lot of crazy things. I seen a lot of things people shouldn't see. But you know what? I wouldn't take that time back because it made me the person I am today. And again, yeah. So yeah, I would never take that time back. I'm proud of being a police officer. And again, if there's something, even to this day, if I see something that's not right and I could physically do something to help somebody, I still go into cop mode. So yeah, once a cop, always a cop. But again, if there's it's not the best time right now. Cops, have a tough time right now. So God bless all those guys, because I don't know how they do it, because I wouldn't survive today.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of police officers. I have a lot of personal friends, family that's police officers. And I just tell people this. There's just so much craziness going out there right now that at the end of the day, every industry, every business, every job, you always have the bad apples that spoils the bunch in every single employment. All right. I always tell people, please, when you see any type, don't personally judge that person right off the bat, right? Because the majority of people out there are great police officers, and we all know good cops do not like bad cops because they know what happens when something happens. We know that.
Right.
It's a tough subject to talk about.
And the problem is, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but the problem is this. Media, we'll get away from this topic right away. This is boring. I don't want to get to it.
I didn't want to get really into it.
If there's if there's 1,000 jobs a day in the city of New York, 999 of them are cops doing good things that you'll never hear about on the media or the news, because nobody cares. Oh, you saved a baby? Great, big deal. Oh, you pulled somebody out of a burning building, or whatever. People's perspective of cops, the only time you deal with a cop is for negative things, right? You either get a summons, you go into jail, or you get a death notification. So you never really did a good job. But the thing is, with all the scrutiny today, I commend anybody who wants to be cop these days, because it's not it's very
the ideal job
at this point.
Yeah, but the great thing about that is, I wanted to head to, for being a police officer, you became security for a time for Leonardo Dicaprio, which is
that's a crazy story, because I was dancing one night, and this guy came and he said, "Listen, would you mind dancing for these girls in my penthouse?" And I'm like, "Yeah, all right." And I go downstairs and I'm hanging out, and one of the dancers come down, and he said, "This guy is waiting for you." So I go, "Okay, let me take care of it." So I go upstairs, and he's like, "Do you want to dance for these girls?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm a cop." He's like, No, I really have these girls." So anyway, I go dance for these girls. He hands me like $2,000, and I was 21, so that must have been for me. It was like making $1 million. And he goes, "By the way, would you be interested in working security for Leonardo DiCaprio? He lives with me when he stays in New York." And I'm like, "Yeah, call me." You know what I mean? And the funny thing is, in my whole life, it's whenever I don't give a shit, things always happen. So I get a call the very next day, and the guy's like, "Leo's here. Leo wants to meet you." Now, this is 1999 Titanic party Leo. You know what I mean? This is not, now it's, going out every night. Right. Yeah. So he's like, Leo wants to meet you. Can you get here at 8? I'm like, "I can't, because I'm doing a bachelorette party." I said, "Could I get there at 9? And he's like, "All right, but don't make him wait." So anyway, I get there, and Leo's there, and he's the biggest star in Hollywood. He just did the Titanic. At that point, I have zero interest in being in the film business. And I'm a stripper cop, from Staten Island. So there was really no, there was no connection. But what happened was I tore my ACL, and he tore his ACL, Leo, on Basketball Diaries. So he's like, "Do you mind if I see your scar?" And I'm like, "Yeah, as long as you don't mind the G-string I'm wearing." I pull my pants down, and I'm sitting there in a thong, and everybody starts laughing, and it broke the ice. And then I started working security with Leo. And then, like I said, a lot of people, because I was with Leo, whoever was big in '99, like Tobey Maguire, Alanis Morissette, everybody, I was working all the time. And then I went to a party, I met this guy called Dylan Sellers. He's like, "You play football?" And I'm like, "In high school." He's like, "Well, I got this movie called The Replacements I'm doing with Keanu Reeves. Would you be interested?" And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, okay." I never acted in my life. And, I'm the week later, I'm in Baltimore, in the Baltimore Ravens Stadium, and I'm playing backup quarterback behind Keanu Reeves and Gene Hackman. And the rest is history. I was hooked. So,
Yes, you know what it
yeah.
is? It's called fate. That was your destiny, man. I mean, everything happens for a reason, and people have to believe that. I still think it's funny that, I mean, imagine if Leo introduced you like, hey, this is my bodyguard, and by the way, he's actually a G-man because he's wearing a G-string, and he's bodyguarding my
Yeah,
body.
there you go. And what's funny, too, which people don't realize, I was 10 years too early because when I was dancing back then, it's funny how everything changes. Because first of all, 1999, if you were in TV, you were looked at as less than movie stars. Where now it's
Yes.
morphed, everybody wants to do a series. But also, they used to tell me, whatever you do, don't tell anybody you dance. It was like a big taboo. And then 10 years later, fucking Channing Tatum comes out and does Magic Mike, and it becomes a big, it's cool. It's now trendy. But yeah, it's crazy because they rather have me. I'm not. I'm almost 6 foot. I was. I'm not like 6'5". They didn't want a
Right, you're my
bodyguard.
height. We're the same height. Yeah, I'm 6'2". We're the same height.
Yeah, you're taller than me. But the point is, they'd rather have somebody that has a gun and shield. That if they got people coming up and being annoying, I could just say, "Hey, do you mind? Show my shield," and say, but to the crowd, I looked like I fit in. Yeah, I was like I was
Right.
hanging out, and they liked that better. And that's how
Of
that
course
whole
they
thing
did.
started.
Yeah, and that's
What was that?
great because you had that look. No, that's great because you had that look. Now, as a working actor, you appeared in a lot of major films like The Interpreter, now pronounced you Chuck and Larry, which I didn't even know about that because Chuck and Larry is a hilarious comedy from Adam Sandler. And Kevin James is actually one of my all-time favorite actors. He's actually doing a show now on Netflix. I saw the first season where he plays a pit guy in a car show, which is kind of cool. But how was it working with Adam and Kevin James? Because those two guys I heard are just comedic geniuses on and off the set, and they're just absolutely funny.
Yeah, I mean, Adam Sandler is probably one of the coolest fucking guys ever. I mean, he's just a great, great guy. I mean, again, a lot of stuff, as they're more comedian types, and they like to do a lot of ad-libbing and a lot of improv stuff. So, they let me try a couple of things. And again, the scene I was in, well, funny enough, because you said that early, and that was my moment where I never opened my mouth again until I saw the film myself. I'm in the movie. But, it was a big scene. It was a Brooklyn barbecue guy I played. And I'm out cooking in Brooklyn when I have two girls by me with a chain, and Steve Buscemi throws a basketball and it knocks over my thing, and I get into this big thing with him, and I chase him out of the neighborhood. Everybody's cheering me on, and that got cut into me jumping back and be like, "Oh, what?" And that was it. So I went from telling everybody, "Oh, you check me out, this great scene in Chuck and Larry," and the scene, got cut down to 30 seconds. So yes, that was my moment where I said, unless I was the lead in something, I'd say I'll never tell anybody again anything until I see the movie myself, because I made such a big deal about it. But yes, Adam Sandler was great. Sammy was great. The whole cast was great. I mean, that was a lot of fun.
I mean, we live when we learn. When we do that at the beginning, we're like, "Oh, I'm in this," because I've done that. Because I was normally an extra. I never really. But people don't realize, and I'm glad you brought up the editing part, is that when you watch a 2-hour movie, people don't realize that movie has 6 hours worth of footage that they cut down to 2 hours. Like, it's crazy how much footage goes into a movie, and they could shoot a scene 12 times and take 10 seconds out of it, and then move on to the next one. But, that's what perfection's all about. And that's why directors and these guys are very important to have because they have an eye for things. And then you put it to the
Right.
editor and everything else. And people don't realize I always give it up to the guys behind the scenes because they're the ones that create the magic. Now with CGI and animatronics and everything else, I mean, it's crazy what happens right now.
Yeah, no,
Now, you also, I'm going through a lot of your stuff right now. Dick and Jane, you work with great Jim Carrey as well. And then in 2012, you created Stanulis Productions. Now, it's funny, when you did that, that's pretty much the year that I met you,
right.
2012, 2013. So I'm honored to meet you when your career really just
Well,
took
it was
off.
getting there. Yeah.
And me and you have always been like that. Like, we just never looked at each other as, oh, star, this and that. We're just people, no matter how
Right.
big we get. And I want people to recognize that. Me and you built a business and a friend relationship. I don't know, 13 years now, 10 years, maybe longer,
Yeah.
give or take.
Yeah.
And it's
Well, like I said, to go back to the whole Leo story, the funny thing is the guy that introduced me to them basically got in trouble for embezzling money and stuff. So,
really,
I got into the business, the most, the easiest way possible. And then I lost all of that access. You know what I mean? So now I had the bug and I'm like, oh shit, I have to audition for stuff now? Really? So again, that's when I started saying, okay, I'm going to get an agent. I'm going to do all that stuff, but I'm not going to be that dude that's going to fucking sit and wait for my phone to ring. Or get the same type of role over and over and over again. So how do you combat that? You make stuff happen. So, the first thing we did was I guess we did 2 shorts that they did well. And then we did a film called Long Shot Louie that did very well about a stripper, male stripper. Again, a little ahead of Channing Tatum's time, but it's a little dark. And it's about a guy who's just, does, parties, does drugs and everything. Now he's in his 40s. Now he's dancing. Now he's kind of like now what are you going to do with yourself? But the point is, I had to do all that because it's a different time. You know what I mean? There was no YouTube or social media or what have you. So you either had to get work or create work. So I started creating my own things. And again, the first film I did Long Shot Louie for $50,000. So again, the thing. Sorry, actually, I lost you for a second. But the thing is, now people have so much ability just to create content, and it's so different. So, like I said, if you guys are out there, whoever's watching or who's going to watch this, you're in this business. I mean, it's never been a better time. If you made a movie back then, if you didn't get in a movie theater, or Blockbuster, you were dead in the water. Now, I mean, again, there's so many different platforms begging for content and looking for quality stuff. Just create it. I mean, but the thing is, it kills me to see somebody just say in a bar in New York, and you're like, hey, what's up? Oh, I'm working on this film. Oh, good. Let me know. And then you see them a year later, and they're still working on the same. Oh, I'm almost ready to shoot this film, and then it's 2 years, and I'm like, dude, you could have just fucking shot. You could have made it yourself, So again, to me, just create shit. Don't talk shit. Create shit. That's my motto. You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, that's a great advice for a lot of people because I added a segment today called Reality.
Well, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me at all?
Wait, hold on.
No problem.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can't hear you.
That's weird. Well, something happened a couple of minutes ago on your phone.
Huh. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can all hear you. Yeah.
We're
Is the
losing
mute button
people.
Is the mute button on your phone? I mean, I can hear you. Let me try something here. To continue this interview. because everything's working on my end. So let me see. Crazy. All right. How's that?
Yeah,
That
no,
work?
no.
Yeah, it's your end. It's not mine because I can hear you.
Hold on.
Yeah, I can hear you. All right, he'll be right back, guys. I think he just lost. I think somebody just probably tried calling him or something on his phone, and it probably tacked out, right? You guys couldn't hear him either, so it's on his side. He's going to be coming in right now. Let me get him. We'll bring him right back. I guarantee I know what happened. I think somebody called him, and it kind of disrupted his thing, and he probably hit something by accident. His phone went out. How's that?
Here, I'm back.
Yeah, you know what happened? Did somebody try calling you?
Yes. Yeah, that's what
That's
happened.
probably what did. You probably hit something by accident. It happens all the time. So anyway, let's get back to talking about you. And thank you for everybody staying on. We live and die by technology. By the way, I'm speaking to Steve Stanulis. And guys, if you want to follow him, it's Steve Stanulis on Instagram, Stanulis, Hollywood director, award-winning actor I'm talking to right now. Great guy as well. So I did see something really cool, and I was a fan of hers since American Pie. You got to work with Tara Reid, which tell me about Tara, because it seemed all the pictures and the scenes I've seen you guys in, you guys seemed like you had a really good camaraderie amongst each other. And talk about that, because it just looked like something where I could see you guys working together in the future.
Yeah, Tara, again, it's funny. Again, when I talk, I'm trying to talk to the people that watch it, or the masses of people that are interested in film or actors or whatever.
Sure.
Like anything else, there's certain films you have nothing in people. You do the film with people, you have nothing in common with them. You do the film, you become great friends forever, or you do the film and you're acquaintances. If you see them, but you won't go out of your way. Tara and I, she's one of my dearest friends to this day. I mean, the funny thing about Tara Reid, we first day of shooting, she had it was a 6 a.m. call time. She had to fly across country, and she had an issue. She got taken off the plane because she had her dog with her, and they wanted to put. I don't know the whole story, but she didn't land. Yeah, service dog, but something happened, and she didn't fly in until like 4 a.m, and our call time was 6 a.m. And our first scene was a love scene, and again, I just met her. I mean, we've talked on the phone, but it was like, hey, it's 6 a.m. She didn't get any sleep. She's on LA time, and then we got to go into bed and make out, and she was awesome. I mean, she super professional. If I go to LA, I'll stay at a house, and she's super genuine. And probably one of the closest actors I've gotten to. I mean, I'll do anything for Tara. Tara is awesome. Tara's, some people have misconceptions about Tara.
Of course they do. That's the media placating that.
Yes, she'll give you the shirt off her back, Tara, and I love Tara, and it was a pleasure working with her, and I hope we do something again. But Tara's. There's a lot of superficial people in this business and a lot of bullshit. She's not one of them. She's awesome, Tara, and I wish I would have told her I was on today, because she would even came on and just But she's really really tough. Yeah, there's a lot of people that.
Anyway, yeah, I'll repost this after.
Yeah, I'm gonna say there's a lot of people I wouldn't talk to. Again, I would never talk bad about anyone except for one person that everybody knows about. But other than him, yeah, I mean, she's exactly how she appears.
Yeah, she seems like that. And that's why I wanted to bring it up, because I've always had a lot of love for you. I trust you completely, and I bring those things up sometimes because of the misconception that the media portrays amongst the actors, because they want to, because today in the world it's all about drama, right? Drama, 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 drama. But to me, honestly, it's the person himself that's important. And like you said, there is a lot of shady people in this industry, not just film, just in general. But now that I'm working on the political side, I see two different types of shady. And I always tell people, when it comes to politics, watch The Hunt for Red October, because there's a scene when the guy says, I'm a politician, which means that I give babies lollipops and kiss cheeks. But when you're not watching, I take the lollipops away. And it was just a perfect metaphor for the industry itself. And you're one of the good ones. And that's why I'm glad I'm talking with you today. We're going to push forward and then go backwards, because I like doing stuff like that as well. Kind of like a Quentin Tarantino moment, I guess you can call it. Let's talk about what you're working on now. I just learned you're working on a new movie called Red Money, starring Jason Patric, Dolph Lundgren, and Kevin Dillon from Entourage. Tell me about this, and I'm excited to hear about it.
Yeah. Again, you know what? Like we talked about before, you create your own work, you create your own work, and you keep pushing forward. Now I'm to the point where I don't. It's a business, right? So is this going to make money or not? So we're doing a movie called Red Money, and luckily we have a work with a studio, which is the first time now I'm partnered with a studio. It's it'll be announced soon, but again, it's Jason Patric, Kevin Dillon, Busta Rhymes, Dolph Lundgren, Dolph, and actually, coincidentally enough, Dolph, right after he's done with us, he's shooting Aquaman 2, which is which is awesome. So yeah, it's when you deal with a studio, it's a whole different thing now, because there's analytics of who means what domestic, who means what foreign. But Red Money is basically, in a nutshell, you and I are talking right now. The president comes on and says, in a year from today, all money's red. Whatever you turn in green, you get back in red. If you wait one day past the deadline, your money's useless. So now there's a lot of people in this world that have more money than they should, right? So now everybody's going to try to move it. So it's very purge-like. It's like the purge meets traffic. And yeah, I'm really excited about it. Everybody kind of loves it because of this whole cryptocurrency and all these different things. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked to be working with a studio. Long time coming. But at least now, I know I'll be first time in my life, I could say day one of shooting, I'll be profitable by a nice amount of money, as opposed to, worrying about, crafty, you know what I mean? That there's not enough bagels on the craft table. So, like I said, but it's all a progression, bro. You just keep, as you go. The biggest mistake, I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, the biggest mistake most people make is they quit. No one's going to make, again, I'm not saying it can't happen, but there's not too many people in this world that are just going to make a film and make fucking millions of dollars. It just doesn't happen.
Right.
Between the unethical distributors, all these different things you got to learn. It's very rare that you're going to do something and, Netflix is going to buy it from you for $30 million and you're ready to go. You have to go through all these progressions. I learned the whole studio thing. I've been doing this since 1999. I just learned the whole studio way this year. So again, it's just all I could tell everybody is, whether you're an actor, a director, a producer, an editor like yourself, Todd, is just keep fucking going. Go, go, go. If it was easy, everybody be doing it. So, yeah, like I said, that's the one that, if just keep going, and eventually things break. They still didn't break the way I want yet, but the progression's going, and that's comes with learning and mistakes, and But like I said, I tell people, I'm always there. You can inbox me. If there's a question about distribution, if there's something that reach out to me. If I see it, I'll answer you, because learn from my stupidity, my mistakes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, that's all I can say. I mean, I could keep beating that drum, and it sounds very Tony Robbins, but it's true. And you just got to fucking stick with it, and then that's it. I'm sorry for cursing, but
No, it's okay. Listen, we're
when I get
we're
passionate
those
about
guys,
something,
we're those guys.
yeah, when I
I
get
get it.
passionate about something, because I sincerely really mean it, and again, I just hate seeing people get fucked, because there's 99% of these people in this business are bullshit. They're either bullshit or, do you know how many times I've gone out to dinner unsolicited to meet with an investor that want to put money into my films, and I go there and he's with his girlfriend and whatever, and it's a show for his girlfriend. There's no money
Exactly.
coming. You know what I mean?
Exactly what
It's bullshit. So you gotta wean out that. I don't want to say 99%. That's a little extreme. 98% are bullshit, and that's it. So you just gotta. And again, it's not just the actors, the producers, directors trying to fuck people physically, and what have you, producers, Weinstein, all that fucking. And then you get past all that, then you get to a distributor, and now you're all right, great. My film's everywhere, it's doing good, and then you get a check 6 months later for you still owe them money, and it's like what the fuck. So anyway,
Yeah.
the point is, again, if I can help anyone, like you said, you gave out my stuff. If I might not get back to you the same day, but learn from my mistake, learn from the money I lost, learn from all that, because that's the only way you can do it. I wish I had somebody to tell me, oh, this guy's bullshit, this guy's this, That's all. I don't want to rant about this, but
No, but I agree with you on that. I had a talk last week. I had a director-actor, Tom Malloy, on from Alphabet Killers.
I
Who
know
I had
Tom.
on last week. Yeah, great guy. And Tom has raised over $25 million so far in the industry, and he just keeps going. And but he's saying everything that you're saying in a nutshell. He just never gives up. He works hard. He says, once you do the first project, go to the next one. That doesn't work, go to the next one, go to the next one. And that's how it is. Like, even with me, like, people see all this work. A lot of people think I have a huge team. I don't. I shoot, edit, act, and everything that you see online every day. And when I'm done, after writing a storyboard, sometimes I go out at 2 a.m. and I shoot the promo, and then I wake up at 6 and I edit it and I get it out by 8:30. Because people don't understand, that's what it takes if your passion is there. And you have to understand, if you're going to do something that you want to do, you have to be 100% passionate, right? Passion is just like in your relationship. When you're married or whatever, there has to be passion there, meaning passion is your lifetime. If you're not willing to give your lifetime to your relationship or your craft, then go find something else to do, because it means that you are not ready to put the work into what you think you want. And that's what it takes. And I agree with you 100% on, and getting to what it takes, a couple of years ago, congratulations, you started Stanulis Films, which is actually a big deal.
Yes, Stanulis Films it's very cool, because I let go of the reins a little bit, and like I said, let other people help. And right now we're going through the whole SEC thing, and looking to bring the whole thing public. So again, I know that they're going to be doing an offering soon. And again, instead of investing in somebody's film where you get 50%, you don't know what the film's going to do. You invest in the company and you own everything. And then we go, God willing, go to the NASDAQ in 2 years, and we open up at $4, what have you. Again, it's just a different opportunity. Again, that's a whole nother discussion. But the thing is, we're going through the whole SEC process right now, which is painstakingly slow. But that's why I have board members and guys that are bankers, and let them do all that. You know what I mean? They say, you do your shit, we'll do ours. And, so yeah. So yes. Stanulis films are something I'm proud of, and I hopefully it goes to where I think it's going to go
Yeah, and I
within the
see
next
it.
year or
I
two.
already see it. I've already spoken to you and other people about this, and I told you, you're literally you're there,
Thank
and
you.
it's happening. You're getting a lot of great actors that are believing in you, and that's your first inclination when you get people like Dolph Lundgren. Yeah, he's doing not the hugest movies except for Aquaman, but Dolph Lundgren is always an A-lister in my book because I will never forget his real breakout role was playing Ivan Drago in Rocky,
Yeah,
which was a film that just exploded onto the scenes. And now you're getting to work with this guy who's now back in Aquaman. Because I love when stars like that, they do movies and then they out of nowhere, boom, Aquaman. Now they're back, right?
right.
And you're working with him, who's at the top of his peak right now, which is awesome because he apparently is a great guy. And look at all the people that are joining you. Now, speaking of moving into certain things, how was your transition now by becoming an actor, but now you're working behind the scenes as a director? How is that transition going for you? Because that's a totally different area.
Yeah, it's funny. Again, when I got to do The Interpreter, I got to work with, Sidney Pollack, who's
Yeah,
a phenomenal director. I worked with, I got to do a little thing on Gangs of New York with Scorsese. So I was always lucky enough to kind of be where they are. And I always watch from afar on how they conduct things and how they do things. And again, like anything else, I'm like, I could do that. You know what I mean? I like that. I enjoy that aspect as much as being in front of the camera.
right.
Sometimes when you're doing a lower budget film, you have no choice but to do more than one thing. I personally don't like to do that because you can't do three things well. You know what I mean? So, some people think I do stuff sometimes for vanity. And again, think what you want, but it's really not, because the three biggest salaries in a film is the director, the
Yep.
main actor,
Producer.
and the producer. So if you get
That's right.
somebody and give them the three titles, you're saving a lot of money. So,
Yep.
again, it's just a matter of money. When money's still in it, when I get to the point where I can say, hey, I want to blow up the fucking Empire State Building in this next scene, and no money's no issue, then you'll never see me do three things again.
Right.
Like with this movie, Red Money, I'm only directing. I'm not acting in it because I don't want the
Oh, okay.
pressure, and I
So
don't
this
need.
is your first directorial. This is pretty much your directorial debut, completely directing, correct?
No, Clinton Road.
All right. So
Um,
that's why I wanted to ask. I wasn't sure about that. And Clinton Road was with Ice-T, correct?
Ice-T, Vincent Pastore,
Right.
um, Ace Young, Cody Calafiore, so many people in the movie. Jimmy DeBello. Again, that was the first one I did. Richard Grieco actually co-directed it with me.
That's
Uh,
right. That's right.
and then there was a couple, I just forget the order, but I did it in Fifth Borough, obviously. Chronicle I directed. But yes, I mean, Clinton was the first one I did without being in it. You know what I mean? I did like one of those Tarantino-esque,
Yeah.
who I love. That's who I love, Tarantino. But I
That's
did
my
it with,
favorite director.
yeah, he's awesome. And
I got to meet him
genius,
in NBC. Yeah, he was great. I got to meet him in SNL years
genius.
ago. This is when he was popping. He's a genius.
Yes. And what I did with Clint Rose, I did that one, 2-second cameo where I get, but yes, that was the first thing I just directed. Red Money. So this Red Money probably won't be a cameo. It's just going to be a director. That's all I want to worry about because I want to work with Lionsgate, on a steady basis, and I want to give them the best I can do, and then go from there.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know.
I got to tell you something, man. I'm loving to see one of my friends really grinding it out and not stopping. and you have a story. Like, I mean, you literally went from the stage of a Chippendale to the movie stage. You know what I'm
To
saying? I mean,
to a cop, to a fucking security, to the stars, to the yeah, yeah. But that's
I
been a
mean,
crazy world,
if I'm
crazy
not
life.
mistaken, that's pretty. If I'm not mistaken, you were one step shy of the Village People.
You're not kidding. And and then like I said, we have the whole Kanye West saga. Um,
Yeah, I saw that.
which
That was
won't
pretty
go away.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's all silly. It's all, but you know what? It's all good. It's par for the course. And yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
and bad press
they
is
were
good
talking about
press.
doing a documentary on my time with him, and I'm like, and now somebody else is doing a docu-series with him, and Netflix paid $30 million. So maybe I didn't make the right move. So, now you know what? I just the whole thing is I don't want to be just known for that and be associated. There's
Yeah,
so much. Like you just mentioned all the things we've done, right? The cops, Chippendale, the directing, the acting. I don't want to throw all that away and be,
right.
oh, that's the guy that worked with Kanye. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
Kim. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, again, like you said, the press blows everything out of proportion.
Yeah,
Every time I mention his name, it goes viral. So I might have just did you a favor here, but no, but like I said, the
absolutely.
whole thing is the whole thing is it would believe this much of what you read in page or whatever you read because and
Right.
let me go back too. The first thing I ever directed by myself, which I'm super proud of, was Wasted Talent, the story of Lilo Brancato, who
Mhm.
again
From a Bronx
I was
Tale.
honored to work with
Right.
him, and he trusted me with it, and that one really meant a lot for me. So I want to make sure that
Yeah.
because that was before Clinton Road.
Yeah,
So
and I
yeah,
was going to go back there and congratulations on that because I believe you won an award at the Williamsburg Film Festival. And if I'm
yes.
not mistaken, you came to one of my events literally at the same exact time that literally just happened with you. You sat upstairs, had some drinks. That was kind of cool, man. I appreciate you for stopping by for that. But congratulations on that. Because that was a very personal project for you, and for you to get awarded for that's kind of like an Oscar for any type of director and actor. So yeah, that's pretty amazing, and I'm
Yeah,
glad to
no,
hear
like I
that.
said, that's right. I think I saw. I think I went to where you were that night after we won to hang
That's
out for a
right.
while, Lilo and I, and whoever was with us.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
were at Ray's New York. Yeah, I remember that. That was years ago. So we got a couple of minutes left. So getting to your new film, when do you start shooting that film that you have doing right now?
we started in June, the end of last week of
Okay.
June. Again, Dolph has a heart out in July because of Aquaman, so I got to shoot him
Right.
out first, and then we go from there. So it'll probably we
Great.
shoot June, July. Um, we're shooting in South Jersey, and yeah, I'm excited. I'm ready to get going again.
Well, I'm excited for you. And of course, when you have that film come out, we definitely want to bring you back on, talk about the new film. I'm already actually working on getting a bigger studio. It's just crazy right now what's happening. But I definitely want to bring you back on. You're a friend here always in a talk show. And, I want people to understand that this is how people grow. It's about the respect and relationships amongst each other in different industries. And when you guys support each other over the years, it's not one or two, it's 10, it's 20. That's how real relationships are built. And I'm proud to be a friend and I'm proud of what you've been doing for the past 10 years. And I think you're killing it. And that 30 million's coming, man. It's
No,
coming. I
thank you.
guarantee you.
And I just want to say likewise and congratulations on this new endeavor. And it was a pleasure and honor to be on it. And kick Joe Rogan's ass.
Oh, I'm all over that. I'm not, listen, I want to go right. I want to be the show right before Jimmy Fallon, different type of show, and then bang right up to him. That's what we're working on now. But Steve,
Good
I
for you.
appreciate you being on. If you guys don't know, again, follow Steve on Instagram at stevestanulis.com. Well, not .com, just on Instagram, Steve Stanulis. But you can go to stanulisfilms.com, learn about his films, and they give you guys an update on what's coming up. Tomorrow night, everybody should be tuning in because I got the great John Amos coming back with his son KC from Coming to America. KC's going to talk about the new video he's directing right now in Jamaica with Tiffany Haddish. So we're going to be talking about that. Thursday, I got Shirley Jones of the Jones Girl, legendary R&B singer from the Jones Girls. And then Friday, we're going to wrap it up with Sadat X from Brand Nubian. So as always, we interview great people like Steve. And I'm looking forward to chopping it up with you off camera. This interview will be up in about 5 minutes. As I always tell people in the end, guys, we're all in this together, whether you like it or not. Please wear your mask. Please practice social distancing because COVID doesn't give a crap whether you're old, gay, straight, black, white, it doesn't matter. We're all in this together and we all deserve to live the same life. All right? So guys, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Steve, enjoy the rest of your night. Okay, and good luck with your career. And I'm excited to walk the red carpet with you soon. I guarantee you that. All right?
Before you do it.
That's what we're going to do. So, guys, if you're not living a passionate life, then ask yourself, whose life are you living? All right? I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night, guys.